Welcome to Rock the Diploma's ELA 30-2 Part B Reading Comprehension session on modern drama. So for our modern drama reading comprehension here, we have an excerpt from the play Watch on the Rhine. Now, as you are beginning to take a look at this, you need to pay careful attention to the cast of characters because it will describe who they are and their relations to one another. And then you also want to go ahead and have a read through the little preamble here, as it's going to provide some context and set the scene for us. Now, as it is a modern drama, pay very careful attention as you're reading to the stage directions, as you'll find things such as this, amazed, where it's providing all sorts of information here for you, attitude, vocal intonation, what characters are feeling and thinking, body language, stuff like that, imperative to your understanding of the text. As always, be looking for footnotes, and in this case, you do see that we have some here, and they can provide explanations of allusions, descriptions of characters not present in that scene but mentioned in the dialogue. They can define words for you. It all helps you out. Be paying attention when stage directions indicate changes, such as changes in somebody that a character is addressing, such as down here. Fanny is speaking to David and then speaks to Kurt. Also be looking for long dashes. Right here, Fanny is saying, that is just, perhaps we all have private definitions. We are all anti-fascists, for example. Yes, but Kurt works at it. So Sarah cuts her off. So that long dash indicates that she gets cut off in the middle of what she's trying to say, which is important to be following the conversation. So at this point, pause the video, read through the excerpt from Watch on the Rhine, answer the questions, and we'll look at them together. So in question 57, in context, Fanny's interjection, when she sort of jumps in and speaks out of turn, the name of Fairly on the door didn't, of course, hurt David's career, in line 31, suggests for us that Fanny has a tendency to, now this is when Sarah is speaking to David and she's like, now we're all grown up, I've got children, you're a lawyer and a fine one, I bet. And then Fanny just jumps in there in response to you're a fine lawyer and says the name of Fairly on the door didn't, of course, hurt his career. Little snarky. So she has a tendency to make critical remarks about David. now in this actual line, she's not being directly critical about David. She's not saying he is a poor lawyer, but she's crediting his success to the fact that the name Fairly is on the business, the firm, right? So A's not a bad answer. Let's hang on to it. B, react in a playful way toward David. No, this isn't playful. This is being mean. This is being dismissive. So we can get rid of B. C, diminish the importance of her family. Well, actually, she's not diminishing or lessening. She's exaggerating the importance of the family. So C is the opposite of the actual answer. D, deny the finality of her husband's death. Well, sure, he may be gone, but she's not like, no, my husband's still alive and blah. There's no denial going on here about this. So our best answer is A, being critical about David, because she says, yeah, it's the father's name on the firm that's making him successful. Question 58, in context, again, the tone of David's statement, you are a woman who is noble in all things at all times, is best described as, so we're looking at the tone of this. What is the attitude with which he is saying this? So she's sitting here and she's speaking and she says to Kurt, do you remember the day that we met, the day Sarah brought you to lunch? I thought you were rather a clod. Well, that's an insult. His intelligence poorly, and that Sarah would have a miserable life. I thought that my daughter would have a miserable life being married to you. I think I was wrong. I think I was wrong. Not, boy, did you ever prove me wrong? Just, I think I was wrong. Then she turns to David and she says, you see, I always admit when I'm wrong. And so in response to that, he says, you are a woman who is noble in all things at all times. I would say he's not necessarily angry. he's not happy with her, but I think angry might be a little excessive. Let's hang on to it though. Okay. B, sincere. No, he's being sarcastic here, right? Oh yeah, you're noble in all things at all times when she says that she always admits when she's wrong. So he's being the opposite of sincere. C, arrogant. Now, if he was being arrogant, he would be like cocky and not caring, and he probably wouldn't bother with sarcasm. He would just like flat out say she's wrong. So C isn't as good of an answer as A. Then we have D, mocking. Okay, now this is what's going on here. He's making fun of her. Oh yeah, you're noble in all things at all times, right? So our best answer is D, mocking. So now for question 59, we've got three quotes. It says you have to use these quotations in order to answer the actual question. So the new wing will be for you and Sarah. The old turkey house will fix up for the children. A nice new bathroom, and will put in their own kitchen, and a niece will move in with them. So Fanny is essentially directing what's going to happen. She's saying where they'll live and what will go on there, right? A vacation? You'll be staying here, of course. You don't have to worry about work. Engineers can always get jobs. So what she's saying here is, no, you're going to be staying here and you'll get a job. And then, no, I'm trying to find out something. This is when she's going in a line of questioning and she doesn't want to be interrupted or stopped. So, taken together, the quotations reinforce Fanny's attempt to, so this is possibly something that has already happened in the text, and it's reinforcing her attempt to, A, exert control over Sarah and her family. Well, is she trying to control them? She's telling them where they'll live, what they'll do, and she wants to find out what they know or what's been going on. A is a pretty good answer. B, ridicule Kurt's efforts to provide for his children. Well, that might possibly work for the first one because she's taking them in, but she's saying that engineers can always get jobs, and it has nothing to do with the third quote there. So we can get rid of B. C, protect Sarah's children from Sarah's foolish idealism. Now, this one doesn't really have much to do with the first two for sure, so you can get rid of C. And then D, achieve a better understanding of the family dynamics. That might possibly work for the third quote there, but it doesn't work for the two for sure. So again, the only one that actually applies to all three is A, exert control over Sarah and her family. Question 60. In context, the quotation that makes effective use of understatement is the opposite of exaggeration. A, I thought you were rather a clod. Now, that means that she thinks that he was pretty stupid, really. How is that understatement? She'd have to think he's so extremely unintelligent, like that Claude is already pretty far along that line, so we wouldn't call that understatement. B, the old turkey house will fix up for the children. So a fix up is understatement. It means what? We'll turn it into a mansion? Probably not. C, and that does not pay well. He's talking about being an anti-fascist in Nazi Germany, and that does not pay well. Well, no, it means you probably get killed. It's a very extreme situation to be in. That's definitely understatement. And then you have D, we are all anti-fascists, for example. Well, she's talking about them. Yeah, all of us. We're against fascists, right? So that's already pretty extreme. If she was just like, well, we're not too fond of them, like that might possibly be understatement. But she already went as far as you can, really. So our best answer here, the only one that really is understatement, is C, and that does not pay well. 61. In line 101, Kurt's response to Fanny's question indicates that. So we have line 101. She asks him, "Are you a radical?" And he says, "You would have to tell me what that word means to you, madam." So when he responds to her, it indicates that he is a proud and aloof. Aloof is like trying to keep your distance, right? In his interactions with others. Maybe. Let's hold on to it, I guess. B, defensive and uncooperative to those who are rude. I would say he's not really being defensive. He is cooperating. He's just looking for clarification, right? Tell me what that word means. So uncooperative doesn't work. Let's get rid of B. C, evasive and cautious when there is a risk to his family. There's not really a risk to his family. His mother-in-law is simply asking him some questions. It's not like she's like, tell me something or I'm going to kick you out of here and you'll starve in the street. So that's not what's going on. And he's not even being evasive. He's being cautious. He's not being evasive. and there's no risk, get rid of C. D, precise and deliberate when he wishes to be understood. Well, I'm sure he would like to be understood in this. He wants his mother-in-law to understand what their situation was and what they are doing, and he is being precise and deliberate by saying, hey, clarify your question before I answer it. So our best answer here is D. And in 62, in lines 109 to 110, so we have, even look a little bit earlier than that. So Fanny says, what kind of work? Kurt, any kind, anywhere. Fanny, sharply, I will stop asking questions. And then Sarah jumps in and she's very sharply now. That would be sensible, Mama, right? Things are escalating here really quickly. And David steps in, he says, darling, don't be angry. We've been worried about you naturally. We knew so little except that you were having a bad time. Okay, so he's trying to diffuse the situation. So his role shifts from A, advisor to leader. Well, I don't know if you could necessarily say he was advising her prior to this. He might be kind of leading the conversation now, or maybe. Let's hold on to A. It's not a horrible answer. B, instigator to detractor. So to instigate something would be like provoking or causing something to happen, be the catalyst in it. If he was like causing trouble in the conversation, that would be instigator. And then detractor is somebody who's taking away from, like slamming the reputation of somebody. So he's not really either of those things. Get rid of B. C, confidant to mediator. So confidant is somebody that you trust, that you would tell things to, right? Confidant. And a mediator is somebody who attempts to sort of mediate and smooth out, resolve situations. Well, he was kind of acting like a confidant before because, you can see this relationship between Sarah and David, this sibling relationship, which is very good. And then mediator, he's definitely mediating now. C is a better answer than A. And then we have D, advocate to adversary. So advocate, if you're advocating for somebody, you're supporting them, you're vouching for them, right? And adversary is opponent. He's not being an opponent for sure. So our best answer here is C, confidant to mediator. Question 63. Sarah's statement, I don't know the language of rooms like this anymore, in lines 117 to 118, implies that her experiences in Germany have led her to question the value of. So you've got here Sarah looking around. Fanny has just said, why wouldn't you take money from us? What kind of nonsense? And then Sarah interrupts her. She's speaking slowly, but she still interrupts her and she says, we've lived the way we wanted to live. I don't know the language of rooms like this anymore, and I don't want to learn it again. So Fanny has money. She's like, why wouldn't you take money from us? She's like, I don't understand this anymore. So it's questioning the value of, we have A, patriotism. So she's talking about money here. It's not like there's flags all over the wall or something like that. So patriotism doesn't work as an answer. B, affluence. Now, this might be a vocabulary issue for you. Affluence is like wealth, okay? And she's talking about how they wouldn't take money. I don't get this sort of lifestyle anymore. So affluence works as an answer. C, change. She's just looking around a well-furnished room and talking about not wanting to take money. So change doesn't work. It's not nearly as good of an answer as B. And then debate. Questioning the value of debate. This is a woman who was a political activist. She's about debate, right? So our best answer here is affluence. 64. In lines 128 to 138, the details of the annual festival in Kurt's hometown provide the audience with a, so we have A, contrast to the American tradition of political neutrality. Yeah, because the United States is always known for its political neutrality, correct? We can simply reject that based on the idea that that's ridiculous. B, commentary on Kurt's revolutionary action. So commentary on his revolutionary action, but this isn't actually about his revolutionary action. It's more so about like why he would be interested in going about doing that. So we can probably get rid of B. C, a critique of the political climate in Germany. Maybe it's, I'd say our best answer so far. And then D, context for Kurt's sense of moral outrage. Okay, here we go. We see this hometown festival, what it used to be like, and then this horrible thing that happened later on, and it's because of the political situation. We understand why he's so upset. So we get it. So our best answer there is D. 65. Kurt's identification with Martin Luther in lines 136 to 138, and this is Martin Luther who started the Lutheran Reformation against the Catholic Church. Somebody who saw something that he thought that there were problems with this, and he stepped up and did something about it. Okay, this implies that, so it doesn't necessarily flat out tell us, but it's implying it for us, that A, Kurt is resolutely committed to his continued political activism. So let's look at, we should actually look at lines 136 to 138. So I cannot stay by now and watch. My time has come to move. I say with Luther, here I stand, I can do nothing else. God help me, amen. Quoting Luther, but he's like, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I have to do something. This is what's going on. That works for A. Resolutely committed to his activism. Sure, A works as an answer. Let's look at the others though. B. Kurt's religious conversion in 1931 encouraged him to become a pacifist. I see nothing about a religious conversion or anything like that. You can get rid of B. This is for somebody that just sees Martin Luther, understands Protestantism, and just runs with that as an answer. C. Kurt's idealism prevented him from understanding the deteriorating situation. Well, first of all, he understood the deteriorating situation. This has nothing to do with the Martin Luther reference. D. Kurt is hoping to gain sympathy from others by retelling what he saw in 1931. Well, no, that would possibly apply to the previous question when he's talking about that hometown festival and what have you. Our best answer here by far is A. Martin Luther was committed to what he was doing. Kurt is committed to what he is doing. So therefore, we've got A as our answer. So there we go. That covers drama. In our next session, we'll be taking a look at visual texts, straight up visuals, and visuals paired with actual written text as well. So stay tuned.